What's the biggest fighting game in the world? Is it the one that shocked parents in the 90s? The one that built esports from scratch? Or the one that quietly dominated half the planet? Because depending on how you define biggest, the answer completely changes. Fighting games aren't just games. They're culture, competition, and decades of rivalry. And for over 30 years, 3 franchises have ruled this genre: Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken. But here's the truth no one likes to admit: there is no single king. Each of these games became big in a very different way. So let's break it down from their beginnings to their modern dominance. 1. Street Fighter, the foundation of fighting games. How it started. Street Fighter technically launched in 1987. But let's be honest, Street Fighter II, 1991, is where history was made. That game didn't just succeed, it defined the genre. Combos, character archetypes, competitive balance, local multiplayer culture. Every fighting game that came after copied Street Fighter, including Mortal Kombat. How it got popular. Street Fighter exploded in arcades. People lined up with coins on cabinets. It became competitive before esports even existed. And unlike Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter focused on skill over spectacle. You couldn't mash your way to victory. You had to learn. Why Street Fighter dominates today. Fast forward to Street Fighter VI. Clean, modern design, beginner-friendly entry. Extremely deep competitive systems. Result? 25,000 to 40,000 daily players. Biggest EVO turnouts, largest global pro scene. Street Fighter players don't quit. They evolve. 2. Mortal Kombat. Shock, controversy, and mass appeal. How it started. Mortal Kombat launched in 1992 in arcades. And from day one, it was different. Digitized real actors instead of sprites. Realistic movement, dark tone. And then, fatalities. At a time when Street Fighter was colorful and arcade-friendly, Mortal Kombat was brutal. So brutal, it literally caused government hearings in the US. That controversy led to the creation of the ESRB rating system, and that alone made Mortal Kombat famous. How it got popular. Mortal Kombat didn't grow because of competitive depth. It grew because everyone talked about it. Kids whispered about fatalities. Parents hated it, media amplified it, and then Hollywood noticed. Movies, merchandise, story modes. Mortal Kombat became a mainstream entertainment brand, not just a game. Why MK wins and sales 100 million plus copies, sold best cinematic story modes. Appeals even to non-gamers. Mortal Kombat is the game people buy, finish the story, and move on. But business-wise, that's still a win. 3. Tekken, the silent global powerhouse. How it started. Tekken launched in 1994, and it did something no one else dared. True 3D movement, sidestepping realistic martial arts complex inputs. While others stayed 2D, Tekken went all in on realism. How it got popular. Tekken didn't rely on controversy, and it didn't rely on arcades alone. It dominated home consoles, especially PlayStation, and it absolutely exploded in South Korea, Europe, Southeast Asia. In some regions, Tekken is fighting games. Why Tekken is unique, only remaining A-tier 3D fighter, extremely loyal player base, deep character mastery. Tekken players don't casually switch games. They commit for years. So who's actually the biggest? Let's be honest, it depends on what you value. Sales and mainstream recognition, Mortal Kombat, active players and longevity. Street Fighter esports and competition Street Fighter movies and pop culture. Mortal Kombat regional and 3D dominance Tekken. The real truth, added insight. These games survived 30 plus years because they don't compete directly. MK targets casual and cinematic audiences. SF targets competitive and long-term players. Tekken targets mechanical purists and regions. That's why none of them dies. They evolve. Final verdict. So what's the biggest fighting game? There is no single answer. There are 3 giants, each ruling their own world. And honestly, that's why fighting games are still alive. Now your turn. Which one is your king and why? Drop it in the comments, like subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.